I'm going to walk you through a case study for a webinar growth system that we executed for one of our federal advisors. This was a virtual seminar setup where we spent $42,514 and returned $4 million in premium. This was over the course of about 16 webinars, where the first 2 webinars contributed to premium contribution right away. So the problem here is that federal employees were difficult to reach through traditional methods. So trust had to be built before the appointment, and in their previous ad campaigns before we took over, generic financial messaging just kind of underperformed. They were having trouble reaching federal employees specifically. And in this case, attendance and follow-up matter just as much as the registration. So let's look at the system map. The objective of stage 1, we want to generate attention. Stage 2, our objective was to capture qualified webinar registrants. Stage 3, because these employees were at a critical moment where they were facing buyouts, the objective was to deliver relevant education to build trust. This happened inside of the webinar itself. Stage 4, the follow-up. The objective here was to preserve movement after the event. Follow-up email and call logic. Stage 5 was to get these qualified prospects into booked appointments. This is where we send the replay, follow up with emails, and get them onto the advisor's calendar. Stage 6 was written business, and stage 7 was the actual funding of the premium. Artifact 1 focused on the meta ad creative, where we use meta for this entire webinar system. Once the prospect has clicked on an ad, they were taken to a landing page. It was specifically built to feel immediate and easy to commit to without any unnecessary friction. For Artifact 2, the registration form, this is the capture event where we did most of our qualifying to qualify for age. We qualified for if they were actually federal employees by asking for their agency and also asking for their work email. This stage right here filtered out a lot of unqualified prospects in itself. This webinar, specifically the first 5 webinars, generated over more than 100 leads per webinar. In our spreadsheet, we captured the lead's employer, agency, the prospect's source, and also evidence of event-specific capture, agency, and age, which tells us that they were the right people that we were trying to attract for this specific webinar. Instead of asking the prospect their location on the form, which could cause unnecessary friction and drop-off, we actually used a webhook in the background of the form to capture exactly where they were located. This specific webinar here generated over 172 leads from a single event. The campaign period was a little under a year, managed $90,000 in ad spend, and returned by the end $6 million in premium revenue. One webinar contributed to $1.5 million in premium itself. Out of the 100 and 200 registrants, roughly 40 to 50 actually showed up and attended the webinar, and a lot of them stayed to the very end. The cost per registrant was around $36 to $50 per registration. And as you can see, these are qualified registrants. The top line premium relative to spend, available records indicate a 94.9x return on investment and an appointment conversion rate of about 5 to 10%. So most people ask the question, is this scalable? This is another case study from a Florida retirement systems webinar. We've done this for quite a few advisors. This is something that we do at Indeimo Infrastructure. We run virtual seminars for financial advisors. We help them get booked appointments through these virtual seminars that contribute directly to funded business. If you want to get started, there's a link in the description below. Click the link, sign up, and we can get this turnkey webinar system started for your practice right away.